What's going on, everybody? It's JetsCentral coming back with another video, and as we all know, the New York Jets are currently on their bye week, right? We're not going to be playing a game this upcoming Sunday. So I was thinking about it, I was sitting there thinking about it, what am I going to do for the preview video this week? And I was going to recap the first half of the season, right? Going in depth about some of the games, and I was thinking about it. And then it kind of dawned on me that all this is negative stuff. When I was thinking about, what has transpired throughout the first half of the season, whether it's just losing games, the coaching staff just being a mess, Darnold getting hurt, the turnovers on offense, I'm like, this is all negative stuff. I basically sat there and said, screw this, screw that, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting out a negative video about this team on our bye week. Just not doing it. There's been too much bad this season, not enough good. So I came up with 5 real reasons why you and I, the whole Jets Nation out there, should be excited, should be optimistic heading into next season. These are 5 real life things. These are 5 tangible reasons here. And, none of these things are out of the realm of possibilities. All 5 of these things are going to happen or are very likely to happen. So point number 1 is this. The New York Jets will have $100 million in cap space next season, heading into free agency, heading into next March. That is such a luxury inside of itself. I mean, to have one big contract on this team, and it's Trumaine Johnson, who, you can make the argument has not lived up to his big payday. But in any case, we have one big contract. We have one guy that we're responsible for paying a lot of money to. That gives the New York Jets, it gives the franchise a huge leash in free agency, right? There are going to be guys. Okay, I've looked at this list plenty of times. I mean, I'm a Jets fan. I've looked at the free agency list a lot this season. There are plenty of guys that I believe the New York Jets could pounce on this upcoming offseason, this free agency period next March. Guys like Le'Veon Bell, the running back from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, the pass rusher, defensive end from Dallas. Ezekiel Ansah. Mike Lupati, the guard from Arizona. There are going to be guys that this New York Jets team can acquire, get these guys in the building and be massive upgrades at positions of need. We have the money to spend and to afford these guys. So having that $100 million leadway, just having that leash, that buffer on our cap situation just gives the Jets so much of a luxury heading into the offseason. Okay, so point number 2 is this. And of course, it's not set in stone right now, but it's looking like if the Jets continue on, or if we're the same team that we showed against Miami, against Buffalo the last 2 weeks, we will finish with the top 10 pick. Okay, having a top 10 draft pick, and I'm not rooting for the Jets to lose or any crazy thing like that. I'm not one of those fans. I don't like tanking. I don't like the idea of trying to lose games on purpose. I don't like rooting for my team to lose. I just cannot do that, even though the people that are for tanking and stuff, it logically it makes sense, right? Lose games, get high draft picks, kind of like the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. But I just don't roll like that. That's just not really me. But I'm just being realistic here as a New York Jets fan. It's looking like the New York Jets will finish with a top 10 draft selection. Okay, just to name a few guys in last year's draft that have been making huge impacts, that have been top 10 guys: Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Mike McGlinchey, who else? Sam Darnold, okay, Josh Allen. There are guys that are going to make huge impacts year one. Roquan Smith is another guy. All these guys are top 10 picks. Okay, so if the New York Jets can land a top 10 draft pick going into next season, or have that kind of solidified, those are 2 great things to have moving forward, 2 very optimistic, 2 very exciting things to think about if if you're a Jet fan out there watching that, to have all the money in the world to spend on free agents and have a top 10 draft pick where it's pretty much you're going to have a great opportunity to land a potential star, a potential cornerstone of the franchise. I mean, look at the New York Jets current roster. Jamal Adams, cornerstone, top 10 pick. Sam Darnold, going to be the face of the franchise, hopefully moving forward, top 10 pick. Leonard Williams, one of the promising players on defense, top 10 pick. Okay, so there are going to be guys, and if we can land a top 10 pick in this upcoming draft, it's going to be a very, very exciting thing. I think it's also a real possibility that will happen as well. So point number 3, potentially getting a new head coach, a new coaching staff, and a new general manager. What thing in the National Football League gives fans more hope than getting new guys in the building, getting fresh blood into the building to run an NFL franchise. You have your general manager, you have the coach, you have the coaching staff, which is an extension of the head coach. You take a look at teams across the league. LA Rams, they pretty much had the same roster when they had Jeff Fisher as they do now with Sean McVay. Of course, they tweaked a few different things, but look at the LA Rams. They change they get rid of Jeff Fisher, they add Sean McVay. The franchise is now set up for the next 10 years of success, okay? All things considered, they understand the financial reasons of, or they understand how to financially run the team because they have been giving away draft picks, but that's beside the point. The point is that if the New York Jets make a head coaching change, make a change with the coaching staff, get a new general manager in the building, that could provide the Jets fans, you and I, the Jets Nation out there, with a lot of hope. If we could get young guys in the building, if we could get fresh blood in the building, because I know a lot of Jets fans are tired of Todd Bowles, are tired of Mike Maccagnan, and I like Maccagnan, I really do. Just to touch on the subject a little bit more in depth, let's talk about Maccagnan first. I like him. I think he's a smart dude, and I really want to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but what are the facts? The facts is that he took over as general manager a few years back in 2015, and it's 2018 now. Do you trust Mike Maccagnan to make the necessary draft picks that this team needs, to make establish the free agent contracts that this team will need moving forward? Do you trust Mike Maccagnan with that? He took over in 2015. It's 2018 now, and this New York Jets team currently has a bottom 5 roster talent-wise in the National Football League. So do you trust Maccagnan in that aspect? And being realistic, taking a step back, even though I love the guy, I love him in interviews, he seems like a smart enough individual, you have to say no. How can you buy into somebody that has put up his current track record? Yes, he has gotten studs in the building: Marcus May, Jamal Adams, Leonard Williams, Sam Darnold. But when you look at the mid round of the draft, completely whiffed. The late round of the draft, I get it. You're drafting players with potential, with high ceilings and whatnot. You're just trying to get, maybe some special teams, some practice squad players, but complete whiffs. Midway through the draft, late in the draft, wasting draft picks. Picking, I don't want to say like picking Darren Lee over like Miles Jack and stuff like that, but because that's too in depth, and of course hindsight's 2020 here. But do you trust a guy like Mike Maccagnan to make those decisions moving forward? I would probably have to say no. And then, of course, when you shift your attention to the coaching staff, the offense is, let's just call it like we see it. It's garbage. We can't move the ball. We can't score touchdowns. We can't get first downs. Can't throw the ball. The running game is somewhat there. Some games it's there. Some games it's not. The offensive line play is horrid. The play calling is horrid. The offense needs to have a change. You look at Todd Bowles. I like the defense. I really do. I like the personnel. Of course, we're not a Super Bowl defense as of yet. We still need to get better at certain positions: outside linebacker, pass rusher, defensive end, linebacking. Inside linebacking core a little bit, just as far as depth goes. I like the defense, but when you grade Todd Bowles as a head coach, if you're grading him as a defensive coordinator, he passes, he gets through. But as a head coach, when the offense is trash, when the clock management is garbage, when the in-game situation and the halftime adjustments just aren't there, it's very frustrating. Okay, it's very frustrating. So you have to look at Todd Bowles. I know a lot of people want him gone, including myself. So the point is that if the New York Jets can land a new head coach, a new coaching staff, and a new general manager, that gives the fans a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement heading into 2019. Point number 4, it's going to be year 2 of Sam Darnold, okay? Look at the transition that Carson Wentz made from year 1 to year 2. He won a Super Bowl year 2. Granted, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, but, I don't think it's a stretch to say if Carson Wentz didn't get hurt in that, in that Week 15, Week 14 matchup, whatever it was, he would have been MVP. He would have been MVP. Granted, he had a great team, he had a great coaching staff, but just look at the jump. He went from rookie year Carson Wentz, who I thought looked really good, to amazing Carson Wentz, who people are considering a top 5 quarterback. Look at Jared Goff, year 1, year 2. Granted, new system, new head coach. Jets could be in a very similar situation here. People were calling him a bust. I still do believe in Goff. I always bought into Jared Goff. I never called him a bust. I didn't want to write him off just yet. Didn't want to do that. I understood that Jeff Fisher gave no input on offense. at all. So, but just the point is look at the jump. Jared Goff goes from a quarterback from, a lot of people out there just saying he's, writing him off, saying he's a bust, to a playoff quarterback. Okay, so going into year 2 of Sam Darnold's career, the game slows down. He has more experience. He has like I said, experience playing against NFL defenses. He understands the speed, the playbook. He'll understand all that stuff. He knows where the facility is. He's played away. He's played in cold weather. He's played at home. He's played, in the heat. Has so many things that he can now check off. He has practice. He has a mini camp, a rookie camp, under his belt. Okay, so year 2 of Sam Darnold is pretty damn exciting, considering just looking back in recent history. Just some of the recent success of the young quarterbacks, the young first round quarterbacks out there. So year 2 of Sam Darnold, very exciting stuff to think about. Of course, the New York Jets have to handle it in the right way, though. We can't screw it up. And then point number 5, it's not, a lot of people could say this point is not really that exciting. I know some of the older Jets fans out there could sit there and say, bottom line is it's not that big of a deal, but it's a big deal to me. Point number 5 is the New York Jets getting new uniforms. What they're going to be wearing on Sundays. Do the uniforms help the team game plan better? No. Do the uniforms make the Jets players faster, stronger? No. But what it does give the Jets is a new identity, a new feel to it. Look at the Seattle Seahawks. When the Seahawks made that transition, when they kind of, when you think of the Seahawks, I think of the Legion of Boom, I think of Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch, and those sharp uniforms that they kind of got when they turned into that Seahawks team, right? Because pre-Russell Wilson, when I'm thinking like Matt Flynn, signing him to a big deal, Hasselbeck, I'm not really bought in, I'm not really there fully, but when I think of the Seahawks now, I think of those sharp uniforms, the gray with the Legion of Boom. All I'm saying is that the New York Jets, if they can line up some sweet new threads for the upcoming 2019 season, that could give the Jets a little bit more swag. It could give the Jets a little bit more of an identity moving forward, and it's just something to get excited about. I've grown up with this Jets, with the current Jets layout of uniforms. I think the only time they ever wore anything different, anything major different, not talking about like a face mask change or anything like that, was back when they wore like the Titans of New York with Mark Sanchez, when they had the dark blue and kind of that mustardy yellow. So new uniforms, it's definitely something to get exciting about. I'm really pumped up to see what they do look like, and I hope, LA Rams, it's another team. They kind of transition from the gold and navy to the white and navy. All of a sudden, it's just one extra variable changing in the changing of the culture. All of a sudden they start winning games. All of a sudden they get a new head coach, and Jared Goff turns it around, and this, that, the other thing. So if the New York Jets can get some sweet new uniforms, I think that'd be pretty cool. Basing it off of of 2019 and the recent, I don't want to say success, because it's not really helping the team win. All I'm saying is that it just adds a little bit more spice. It adds a little bit more flavor to the turnaround, right? It's all a part of the turnaround. You see it with teams all the time. When they get humiliated in a game, they go and they bury the old jerseys. They bury the game worn stuff, because it's just a subconscious thing. It's just a mental thing. So maybe inserting these new uniforms into the Jets locker room, into the Jets franchise, possibly getting a new logo. I don't know. I'll be screwed because this thing was just made for me this past year. But the point is that I think the Jets, if they could acquire sweet new uniforms, I think it'd be pretty awesome. So those are the 5 reasons for the, the Jets fans out there, the Jets Nation, to be excited for the upcoming 2019 season. To quickly recap, new head coach, new staff, new general manager, new uniforms, $100 million in cap space. We're going into year 2 of Sam Darnold's career, and then, of course, possibly a top 10 draft selection, which it could be another star on this team. We could possibly get another Jamal Adams, another Sam Darnold, another Leonard Williams, another superstar in the making. So I'll leave it there. Those are my top 5 reasons. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're excited for the upcoming season, and I don't want to be one of those fans that's writing this season off, I just felt as though, all this negative stuff, the Jets keep losing, Todd Bowles, the jury's, it's just the book is closed on him. Darnold's hurt. Darnold's turning the ball over. Offense can't do anything. What is happening? It's just negative, 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 negative. I said, you know what? I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to make a positive video. So I'll leave it there. I know I kind of rambled on for a little bit, 15 minutes. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.